Alright guys, good morning. Alright. I'm getting the camera set up. It's just me. No film guy, no film girl, just me. About to jump on camera right now. So as I said before, I'm gonna be doing videos on popping up, pop-up series, whatever. I think the camera's a little off, so let me get it good. Alright, anyway, this video is gonna be about paddling. This is a pop-up series videos that I'm gonna be making, how to pop up for surfing, but paddling is very important. If your paddling is not right, it's gonna mess up your pop-up. So obviously, you pop up. When I used to pop up, I used to be real low to the board, and I would try to come through. It's really hard to get your legs through if your chest isn't high. So, I mean, this is kind of okay, but you want to be here. See how much more space you have? If you're down here and you're looking down, when you go to pop up, your body is limited to how it can pass through. Because remember, you're gonna be basically pulling your legs through. I'll turn around so you can see. You're not gonna drag your legs. Your legs are actually gonna come up off the board and it's gonna be going through the air. So I'll show you what it looks like from behind. So I'm breaking the movement down, right? So your body is gonna look like that in the air. Back up, make sure you can see me. So when you pop up, here, okay, when you paddle, we're gonna talk about paddling in a second. So when you pop up, you pause, make sure that you're in the wave, make sure the board's moving, and then you place your hands down, not out here, not out here, going to be in your armpits. Arms locked back tight, and then, so when you go to pop up, and you create that space, your legs are going to be through the air like that. But it all depends on what kind of pop up you're going to do. Again, in my first video, the introduction video, you can pop up like this, chicken wing, and then keep your butt low. Stand up. I'm going to be talking about the step through because it's the most easiest. So I'm going to focus on pop-ups where you can use your toes. If you're learning on a 9-foot, 8-foot like you're supposed to, longboard, soft top, it's the perfect board to start on. This orange board, it's called a short board. Do what you want. My goal has always been to ride a shorter board. But in the process, I realized that I like longboards too. So I literally don't have a preference. I look at surfboards like cars. A luxury car is cool. A sports car is cool. A truck is cool. They're all vehicles. They all just do different things and they operate. And the feeling is different, you know what I mean? And what you can do is different. So in the beginning, I would say, don't worry about or be stuck on being on a shortboard. If you truly want to learn how to ride on a shortboard, I always recommend soft top because they're soft. This is an actual real surfboard. Hear the difference? Now if you fall, one time I hit my face on the board. Well, hopefully, probably not. I don't know if you can see me. So one day I hit my face on the board because I went to pop up and I slipped and I went, bah. It was just a beginner mistake, and it was a random mistake. It's a lot easier to come back and recover from a mistake on something soft. Obviously the goal is to ride a real surfboard eventually, but you can tear up a surfboard and jack it up by accident by being a beginner. So back to the pop up. In this video again is paddling. So but I still want to show the pop-up. So these 3 pop-ups are the easiest to do, and the only way to know which one's going to work for you is to go out to the ocean and use a surfboard. 9 foot, 8 foot, or 10 foot. You need a big board. Always try to get at least one surf lesson. Even if you don't think you can afford it, just think about this. You're gonna buy a surfboard, right? So why not get a surf lesson to make sure you're doing the right thing? Watching videos on the internet is good, but you're not gonna know if you're making mistakes that are holding you back. Obviously, you can get the gist of it from watching videos and maybe talking to a friend or somebody, but a surf lesson, it changed my life. I took 4 surf lessons, May 2019. My instructor watched me every step of the way, made corrections, and after that I was Gucci. You know, I was on the way. I didn't really need any more instruction. Of course, I got tips along the way with actually learning how to surf, but I understood how to pop up and stand up on the board. Once you have the information, it's just about just practicing it, you know, and going out surfing every day and getting good at it. So it's up to you. Do what you want. The goal of this video and all in this series, the pop-up series, is just showing people how to pop up easier with good technique. Because if you can't pop up correctly, you can't stand up on your surfboard. If you can't stand up on your surfboard, you're not gonna learn how to surf. So you have to, I won't say you master the pop-up, but you gotta get proficient at it. And over time, as you surf longer and longer, it'll be so easy, you're gonna be like, man, I don't realize why it was ever hard, because essentially the pop-up is not really hard. It's just a technique that's not common to the human brain. Because how many people are actually surfers? And how many people know how to pop up? You know how to walk because it's natural. You know how to run because it's natural. But popping up isn't a natural movement. It's a movement specifically, it's a specific skill set for standing up on the surfboard. So anyway, these are the 3 pop-ups that I like for beginners. And so I'll just show them real quick, and I'll go back to the one that I'm going to focus on today, and then back to paddling. So I'm showing it from behind so you can see what my legs look like. So this one is called the jump through. Jump through. This is the one I used to learn how to surf because it was the easiest and fastest way for me to get to my feet. Put both my toes into the board, into the tail of the board. I plant both my hands and my feet, and I literally just use my hands as anchors, and then I jump my feet through while my hands are still on the board, and I land in the surf stance. So I'll do that 3 times. Remember, when you're surfing, you want to hold your hands out to the side or in front of you to make sure and look at your board and look at the ocean. Make sure you're moving, because sometimes you can paddle, and you're not really moving. The wave is actually going past you, and your board is just kind of sitting there. You're not going anywhere. So you want to make sure you're in the wave. So the wave's coming, it hits your board. You want to make sure you're moving with the wave. If the wave is moving past your board, then stop paddling, turn around and go back and start over. So if the wave does this, don't try to fight to keep up with it. If you're strong enough and you have the skill, then you can try to keep up with it. But if you miss it, then you probably missed it. It's too late. Just go back and start over. So when the wave hits that board, your hands out. You gotta paddle, and then make sure you glide. Okay, the wave has me, and then you pop up. So these are the 3 pop-ups. This is the jump through. Gliding, placing my hands, feet together, hands planted, feet planted. Create space for your legs to come through. Remember, hands planted, feet planted. I'm gonna do it from the back angle and the side angle. Hopefully you guys can see me. Let me back the camera up just in case, because I don't know if you guys are catching me on camera or not. Alright. Hopefully you guys can see everything I'm doing. Make sure the wave has you. Plant hands, plant feet, everything tight. Because remember when that wave hits you, you want to be balanced and tight. Up. All right. One more time. Or your hands can go there, or here, or here, whatever you like. Here's the side angle. Plant your feet, plant your hands. When a wave hits you, when you're planting it, it'll keep you from falling off. As you get better, you won't need it because you know how to balance when the wave hits you. But in the beginning, paddle, 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 lock it in. Oh, it's going, it's going, it's going. Up, plant. Up. All right. So that was the jump through. I'll show the chicken wing from the back and the side again. So, all right, chicken wing. All these allow you to put your toes in the board, which will allow you to stand up easier. So, if you're on a long board, and you could be short, you could be like 5'2", 5'3", maybe use a 7 foot. You might not need a 9, 8, or 10 foot size surfboard. It's all about your height, but you should at least be able to put your toes in the board. And again, always take one surf lesson. If you're on a board that doesn't allow you to put your toes in, that means you have to pop up without using your toes. You're a beginner. If you're a beginner, it's gonna be kind of tough. You can figure it out, but as a beginner, even if you figure out how to pop up, you still have to make the landing. And if you're not gonna use your toes, landing on your surfboard, and you've never surfed before, you're gonna wobble and shake. And that board, a smaller board, is meant to be loose because it's meant to turn and snap and do fancy stuff. So, because you don't know how to land, even though you might figure out how to pop up, you're gonna wobble, and when you wobble, you're gonna fall. I mean, you can thug it out, but I'd suggest have fun. To me, every step of the way should be fun. And as always, you take one surf lesson, you get the basics down, then you can have fun from day one. If you start off with a shorter board is an advanced board. It doesn't mean you can't learn to ride a short board. It just means it's like a marathon. Think of a shortboard surfboard like a marathon. Do you start running yesterday and then sign up for a marathon tomorrow? No, you work your way up to a marathon. I don't care what country you're in. I think that's a perfect example. Look at a shortboard surfboard like a marathon. Obviously, it doesn't take years and years to get there. You can get there as fast as you want to get there, but obviously it's going to take time to get good at it. You're not going to ride a shortboard like a professional, because they're professionals. They've been doing it their whole life. Also, I like to look at a shortboard like a race car. You start off in a regular car, and then you move your way up to a race car if you're going to be a race car driver. No race car driver just jumps in a race car, $1 million car, and start racing, you know what I mean? So same thing with a shortboard. You start easy, and then you work your way harder. All right, back, this is the chicken wing. Remember, you want to glide. Plant everything plant your hands and feet. Plant your hands and feet for stability. Up, you plant your leg and you bend your leg in like this, you want to keep your hips low to the board. You don't want to try to stand up you don't want to try to stand up while you're doing this. You already want to be planted in the body position, because when you plant your feet, it's like it's your base. You want to keep your hips on the board, because remember, the surfboard's wobbly. So you don't want to be wobbly. So you want to keep your hands planted, your feet planted, and then you step through. And you keep your hips low and your chest high, so it keeps the board balanced. It keeps you balanced, and all you're doing is stepping your leg through, getting into your surf stance, dropping your hips, putting your hands out for balance, then start paying attention to what the wave is doing. All right, here's the side angle. Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm gonna be redoing these videos if I miss anything or the angles suck. Glide, plant hands, plant legs. When I stand up, I'm low. Make sure I'm not wobbly. But if you stand up tall, I know you can't see my face, but if you stand up tall, you can fall. But if you stand up low, then you have more balance because you're closer to the ground, closer to the board, and then just get up slow. Chicken wing. Glide. Okay, the ocean's pushing you. The ocean's pushing you. Plant, remember, plant everything tight. Remember, you want to plant everything. You don't want to do this first. This pushes your body down, pushes you down. So you don't want to plant and then go down. You want to plant. Remember, always start with your chest high. Once you get good, you can basically do it at the same time. So plant. You see how I did that? That's more advanced. See? Advanced. But in the beginning, it's going to be like, oh man, oh wow, I'm going. And then up, go. Because in the beginning, you're new. My tripod's low, so that's why I'm laying so you can see me. In the beginning, you're new, so you're not gonna rush through it. So I'm gonna do 2 more slow and basic, and I'm gonna do 2 fast ones, the way you would do it if you are good. Now, I don't use this one, but I'm gonna start practicing it. I'm kind of person, I like knowing how to do different things, challenging myself. Now that I know how to surf, I'm going back and learning new things. So even though I already know how to pop up, I still want to know how to pop up different ways, just for the heck of it. You know, just to see how it feels in real life. In the beginning, I didn't do it because I wanted to focus all my attention on one pop up. And I would suggest the same thing. Pick a pop up, stick to it, get good at it. And if you want to change it later, change it later. But the most important thing is pick the pop up that's easiest for you. That's going to allow you to get up every time. Even if you fall off the surfboard, that's okay, because you're a beginner. Me, everyone who knows how to surf, it's a balance sport. You're going to fall. But the most important thing is that you pick the pop-up that works best with your body mechanics and that feels good to you, and that gets you on your feet. And if you fall, that's fine. But as long as you get into your feet, that means you're good practice. And over time, you're going to stop falling, and then you're going to start surfing. Remember, popping up is not surfing. It's the movement that allows you to learn how to surf. That's why it's so important. So 2 more chicken wings, and then I'm going to do 3 really fast ones, so you can see the difference from the back and the side. 2 slow ones. I'm not going to stand up all the way just to save time. Breathe fast from the back, breathe fast from the side. heat on. It's winter. I'm gonna turn on the AC. 1 second. The last one is the step through. This video was supposed to be about paddling, but for whatever reason, you see me guys, I'm in shape, but my heart rate's high. That's why I always encourage fitness, because everything about surfing is physically challenging. Everything about surfing is physically challenging. So there's 2 ways to make learning surfing easier. 1, surf a lot every day, as much, and work out. You're gonna be probably tired from doing both, but eventually the working out should help you with the surfing. And you just gotta figure it out. Maybe surf one day, next day work out and surf. Spread it out. Surf in the afternoon, work out in the evening. Spring and summer is coming up. Perfect time to look good for the warm part of the year, Get into those clothes you want to get into. But you can see how my heart rate's elevated. Alright, the last one is, I call it the step through. The chicken wing is the only one that I've ever heard called a chicken wing. The other pop-up, I never heard of a name. I'm just calling it the step through because that's actually what you're doing. You're stepping through and landing your feet into a surf position. Alright, so I'm gonna do grease slow from the back, grease slow from the side, and then I'm gonna do grease fast from the back, grease fast from the side. And I don't know if I'm capturing everything. If I didn't, my goal is to do 100 videos so I get better at doing them. Use different tripods, higher from the ground, etc., etc. Alright, here we go. Grease slow from the back, grease slow from the side, grease fast from the back, grease fast from the side, and then just go back into a little bit of paddling. Glide, plant your hands and feet, high chest, plant, step through. See, the other one, the leg was like this. This one, you're still here. You want to make sure you're quick, because this is a very unstable position and it's easy to fall. It's easy to fall. So when you do it, remember, always keep your hips low. Don't go too fast that you're rushing, but don't go too slow that you're going too slow and you fall, because you can fall by going too slow. You can fall by going too fast. You need to be somewhere in the middle. I can't tell you that. You have to figure that out for yourself. Or again, take one surf lesson so a professional instructor can see what you're doing, help you fix your mistakes, and then it'll be some of the best money you ever spent. I don't promise, but I guarantee. Breathe fast from the back, breathe fast from the side. Gets my heart rate up. That's why you need to surf every day if you're a beginner and get into a fitness routine. I'm taking part of the winter off so I can focus on fitness in other areas of life. But this is practice for me too, because I haven't been in the ocean like in a month and a half. So remember, here I am, I know how to surf, but I'm practicing right here in my living room. So you don't have to be on the surfboard in the ocean. You can practice at home, practice at the gym. So when you finally do take your first surf lesson, or when you finally do have time to practice, or when you can't make it to the beach, you can still practice and get better at your pop-up. You don't have to, obviously you still need to be in the ocean, but you can still get good at the pop-up by putting in extra time at home at the gym. So when you do go to the ocean, it's that much easier. Fast. Because I'm so used to jumping through, I'm not only stepping through, I'm still kind of jumping through a little bit, if you notice that, because I've been doing it a while now. I'm not perfect, I'm not an expert, but once you get good, it just goes a lot faster. So if it doesn't look like I'm truly stepping through, I am, but I'm also pushing off, because it's just, I know what it takes to get on my feet for me. So it just helps me get to my feet faster, and that's how I learned. Remember, no matter what you choose, everyone's gonna do a different type of pop-up, but you gotta choose what's gonna work for you. So it doesn't matter what your friend's doing, it doesn't matter what your favorite professional surfer's doing, we're all different. There might be somebody that does your pop-up. I suggest one surf lesson, and then watch other surf channels. Check out How to Rip, How to RIP, and check out Kale Brock, KALE BROCK. If that doesn't come up, KALES Broccoli. So Kale Brock, Kale's Broccoli, How to Rip. Those channels, those guys are from Australia. It doesn't matter where they're from, I'm just letting you know where they're from. They are top-notch surfers. I mean, they're not professionals, but they've been surfing their whole life. And that's the thing. Most people that are going to teach you how to surf at a surf camp or surf lesson, they're not professionals. Yeah, it's great if a professional taught you, but learning how to pop up doesn't require being taught by a professional. It requires being taught by someone who knows what they're talking about. Now, if you want to learn to do some advanced maneuvers like a floater or doing aerials, and yeah, that's probably better learn that from a pro, because they're the best of the best. But let's face it, how many of us know professionals? And just because someone's a professional doesn't mean they're a teacher. So you could walk up to your favorite professional and they might, man, I just do this and do that. What do you mean it's easy? Because they've been doing it for a long time. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So and they might not be able to explain it to you. Some people have been surfing since they were 6 years old, 5, 7, 8, 10. They might be 25, 30. They forgot how to explain it because they learned it so young that it's just natural to them now. It's not even something they probably even thought to even explain to somebody. So that's why instructors taking one lesson is really important, because these are professionals. They work at surf shops. They specialize in helping people understand how to surf, how to pop up. So again, you can watch all the videos you want, but you're gonna make mistakes as a beginner. There's nothing wrong with that. I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. No matter what you do when you're a beginner, you're gonna make mistakes. If you want surfing to be easier, you need somebody to be able to look at you, to see what you're doing right, see what you're doing wrong, tell you, hey, you're doing this right, and then tell you this is wrong. So you stop doing what's wrong, and now everything's right. So you want to go from you're doing some right, you're doing some wrong, to everything's right. once everything's right, now it's all about improving it, fine-tuning it, making it better. But if you have some that's right, some that's wrong, as you get better at what's right, you're still going to be doing what's wrong. So that little bit of wrong can counteract your good and keep you from getting better. So do what you want. I'm just saying friendly advice, that's all. So I'm gonna do the step through a little bit faster again. I just feel like doing it. If you notice, when I first showed you, I was just literally stepping through. When I did it for